Big UFO news in Congress. This is a congressional hearing by Dr. Stephen Greer in Washington, D.C. on June 12th of 2023. Okay, so it was about last week or so. Big deal, guys. After this, nothing's going to be the same. This is Dr. Stephen Greer's full disclosure about all the whistleblower testimonies that he's collected over the past 30 years. Uh, Eyewitness people that have interfaced with extraterrestrials, the bases that they're associated with that are not even listed as our actual military bases. They're black budget bases, which means they're illegal operations. This is a threat to the national security of the United States. They have been doing this for a very long time. They are using black budget, such as drug money, such as prostitution rings, to fund these types of organizations and operations. The companies of the world, big companies, Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies, know about this and they're keeping it a secret from you. We're going to watch maybe 8 to 10 minutes of this to get your feet wet in it. I encourage you to click the link in the description to go watch the full video. It's about 3 hours long. This will change the game for you guys. If you are interested in the UFO topic at all, please watch this. Dr. Stephen Greer has been working on this for 30 years. He's made it his life mission. If you don't know who I am, my name's Alex. I've been working on this for the past 4 or 5 years. I guess you could call me a ufologist. I just want to know the truth, just like you. I talk to whistleblowers, many as just as he has. I've de devoted a lot of my time to this subject. I've sorted through a lot of misinformation, a lot of psyops by the government, and I think now is a great time to come and talk to you about this, share this information. This is where your taxpayer money is going. You deserve a right to know to protect your family and find out what's really going on so you can make your own decisions about what you believe in. So let's go ahead and watch this clip. I'll pause it when I deem it necessary to talk a little bit more about it, and let's get into it.
Some of them are black sites. Some of them are bases you know about, like Wright-Patterson, Edwards, Nellis, Area 51, so-called. But all of them are based on witness testimony and intelligence we've gathered over the last 30 years. And it's time for it to be disclosed. And so now you have it. Next. Here's one. And people go out in the Mojave Desert. Michael Schratt took this picture when it was okay to fly near it in a small private plane. It is the site for the Lockheed Range underground entrance. What's in there? Well, there are man-made, and this is the big story, no one's telling you. A large number of the UAPs are in fact deep black budget electromagnetic field propulsion devices based on the study of extraterrestrial vehicles that began in the 1940s. That is a fact, we can prove it. So when you see these sort of places, just remember, many of them, I want to be careful what I'm saying here. Someone who is in charge of the black budget of the United States in 2022 went out to the Lockheed Skunk Works based on some information he had. He was shown a bunch of old jet aircraft. He knew he was being gaslit. And they reached out to me and I said, what do you want? I'll give you everything we have. And that's what's happened over the last 16 months. So I cannot name this person, but they're a wonderful person of enormous integrity and a hero of our country. So I want to just go through quickly some of the new ones who aren't here. Now, the reason these have initials, they're waiting to be cleared for coming forward publicly. They're afraid. Let me explain to you why they are. This man, here's just his incoming letter. We get these every day. Now, he's afraid he'll lose his pension. He signed an 80-year non-disclosure agreement. He has been threatened, and some of these have seriously had their lives threatened. It's a very thuggish situation going on that the Department of Justice and FBI need to drill down on very quickly. Next.
Absolutely. Very thuggish indeed. The reason that they do that is because they sign these non-disclosure agreements. Now, that's on paper, but a lot of times it's not even acknowledged. It's just pretty much I guess, a hush-hush thing, a known thing between the signee and the person that you're signing it for or organization, that you will most likely be killed if you release this information. Many have died. Whistleblower testimonies that have came out, people have showed actual footage. They have been silenced. It's either that or their families have been killed. This is a serious deal, and they don't really care about extraterrestrials. Now, don't get me wrong, you can share UFOs and all this stuff. What it really means is the big question is, how did they get here? What kind of technology are they using? The technology that these extraterrestrials have been using and that our organizations, our black budget programs, and our military contractors have been studying for the better part of 70 years, that they can eliminate world hunger. They can induce world peace. You now no longer need coal, oil, gas. Your car emissions, that would all be gone. Okay, this will change the game as far as the way humans are living. You will no longer be a slave. You will be healthier than ever. With the technologies, the potential is limitless with these technologies. This has been kept a secret on purpose because it's easier to control a dumbed down slave population than what it is when people have independent access to their power, their freedom. This is why there are big things like big food, big pharma. Okay, they don't want little small farmers to make their own food. That's because you're self-sustaining. They want you to rely on government. They want you to rely on pills. They want you to rely on the school system that they provide, their education that is filled with garbage to purposely dumb you down and limit your potential as a human. Okay? This stuff has been going on for a very long time. It is a great time to come out and talk about it and share this with you. Please share this with your family. Share this with your friends that you think would be interested, and even if you don't think so, share it. It's very important. Okay? This is a time in history that we will look back on it and thank us for the work that we do now. It's a courageous act that these people are doing. They're risking their lives, they're risking their families to do this, and we need to reward them as such. So let's go ahead and continue on with the video and the crash retrievals that they're getting ready to talk about.
Here's an illustration of one event that he was involved in back when there was a extraterrestrial vehicle that crashed and then ultimately ended up at Lawton, Oklahoma, near Fort Sill. This man has been in a skiff with these objects. These illustrations are based on his direct testimony and hours of discussions since 2016. Here is a small extraterrestrial body, about 39 inches long, that was retrieved in that operation. There are extraterrestrials of various sizes. The last known count I had of different civilizations involved with this, about 60 to 70 in that range, and I think there could be more. Next. This is one of the underground command centers that he was assigned to from the Pentagon. He was with Technical Management Office and then some other offices and investigated some criminal activities that occurred with a 3-star general related to this subject that the Department of Justice was basically unable to prosecute because they were denied access to the operations. Next. Here's one that was also in this another facility as an extraterrestrial vehicle. He actually was there very close to it. This gentleman wants to come forward. He needs to be protected, and this is why we're calling for explicit witness protection and explicit pension and asset protection for these whistleblowers. Next. And this is just an indication of a type of electromagnetic system that actually can cloak any tank or any object that we've developed over the years, and he was read into this as well. Next. So there's another gentleman. I'm going to run through these very quickly. We'd be here for 30 hours if I didn't. I'm just giving you a tip of the iceberg, right? This is a guy who is at the Dugway Proving Grounds, very key facility, MS we call him. He worked for C. Martin Corporation, a contractor, and he was in a facility that had an extraterrestrial vehicle that was being studied by scientists. He knows the chief scientist involved. He has named that individual to us, and they can all be subpoenaed now. So this object was there in 2009. He didn't know the date of acquisition, but he thought it was fairly recent. Next. He also was read into and had the chief scientist show him the location, which we now have, of a DUM, deep underground military base, that is in the Dugway sector, so-called Avery sector, A-V-E-R-Y, and it has huge capacity for parking. You go in, and there's a vast underground complex in that location. That location has been handed off to investigators with the U.S. government. Next. This gives an illustration of the size of this. You could put easily on the platform that goes down the Air Force One. It's a very large elevator goes down underground. Next. And then we have this gentleman. He was not long ago in the Nellis Range in the Nevada test site north of Nellis Air Force Base. And he, next slide, was on a retrieval team. Now let me explain how this guy got involved. He was recruited out of Fort Campbell to be somebody to be on a retrieval team with a top secret clearance to pick up when we have an accident with a helicopter or jet, because there's classified technology on those often. And this, our YouTube pilot here will explain that perhaps. But the point is, he went from there, and that was preparatory to being on a retrieval team for this. So he was involved with this operation. It was a man-made, so-called alien reproduction vehicle, it's called by some people, or AT. A lot of people just call them advanced technology. It's a euphemism. But it's based on studying the electrogravitics and magnetic field propulsion systems of the interstellar vehicles that involve the science of quantum entanglement and, going, basically you want to go from one point in space and to another. Say this is one point, this is another. You're not going through a straight line. You're folding space-time. That's how you do it. And we're not going to do a physics lesson here. Had enough of that in pre-med. But anyway, so this is an object, and I'm not a physicist. We have a physicist here. But this object was retrieved because it became disabled. Some of these retrieval operations are not extraterrestrial, but they would like sometimes the public to think maybe it was, because the bigger secret, I will tell you right now, is not the extraterrestrial issue. It's these technologies, which an unsupervised and frankly illegal operation have, which is a threat to the national security. Period. This we will prove. And this is a bigger threat, the existence of these in the hands of unsupervised operations that have escaped the oversight of the President of the Office of the President and the Congress since 1956 to 1960. Hence Eisenhower's speech, beware the military-industrial complex.
Okay. That is a great, fantastic thing. The two biggest technologies that they want you to keep secret is, number one, the secrets of the mind. Humans can be mind controlled. Okay, you can use different various methods of mind control. There's trauma-based mind control. A lot of these break-off Satanist groups, incest mind control, they use that to be able to create what's called alters. Okay, each DID, dissociative identity disorder, MPD, multiple personality disorder. A lot of these individuals that have had this trauma inflicted on them, when a human that's a young human gets trauma inflicted on them, they create a different personality to deal with that trauma. Okay, so what these people do, the United States secret black budget programs have sought out these individual families that do this type of satanic ritual slash incest-based, trauma-based mind control, and the parents of these individuals and the families sell their children to these programs. These individuals can be completely their separate personality. That's where you see the Jekyll and Hyde. It's alter egos. They're one single person, but they have multiple personalities that have nothing to do with each other. That's the first secret. Okay, that's how these Delta Force operations are ran. That's how these top level people that are couriers for information for people such as presidents, secretaries, high defense contractors, they do not talk on the cell phone. They use humans that have been switched over to their alters, and they can program them to switch whenever they want to. With secret information that is highly classified. Okay, that's the big secret that they don't want you to know about. That humans already are mind controlled. You've seen TV. That's a form of mind control, but it's a lesser extent. I'm talking about the extreme version of trauma-based mind control, satanic ritual mind control. Okay, and these things do exist. I can make videos all day long about this. If you want to look up one of the main people that inflict this mind control is Michael Aquino. Okay, he was a lieutenant colonel in the Navy. He worked out of California. Okay, look him up. He developed what's called the Temple of Set, which is a break-off sect of the Church of Satan. Okay, this is real deal stuff. Okay, that's number one. Number two, just what Stephen Greer said here. They want to keep that technology, high level technology that we've recovered from these extraterrestrials, a secret because it would eradicate world hunger. It would completely remove all the plastics that we have. There would no need to rely on coal, oil, gas. Elon Musk and all your heroes that you look up to, Jeff Bezos, they are lying to you. They know about this stuff, okay? They are billionaires and they want to keep people feeding them money, okay? They're getting money from the government, okay? They want to keep all of this hush hush. That's why Elon Musk had to feel that he released on Twitter, I've never seen any evidence of extraterrestrials. Well, there is so much evidence that there's more evidence for this than there is black holes, okay? So with that, please share this video. Please go ahead and click on the description and watch this full video. If you're driving, share it with your family. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I make these videos every day. I've been studying this stuff for a long time, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.